Still have a lot of garbage to get rid of. Unfortunately, here in Regina, you get your blue bin, and you can only use your blue bin. And your blue bin that's all recycling for Sarcan. Your blue bin gets picked up once every 2 weeks. So, that's what you can use. So getting rid of the boxes has been hard. But I just noticed this. I don't know what's in that, because that's not mine. I think I'm gonna have to go for an experiment. Tomorrow I'll get the ladder and we'll see. Okay, so it's time to bottle the Mr. Beer kits that I have, the 2 of them. So I have all the bottles out from 2 of the kits. I have all the caps out. These ones are being sanitized right now. Easiest stuff to do too, because there's the spigot, so you don't even need a bottling wand or anything. Basically, if you've done it, if you only did one kit at once, you would take the remaining half of a package of no rinse sanitizer. I did 2, so I just opened this one. And you'll rinse it all, right? You rinse it all. Maybe today I'll start another batch and then I can have a 3rd batch going. But you rinse them all. Well, you don't rinse them all, sorry. You put a little bit of the sanitizer in each of them. You give it you put the cap on, you give it a shake. You leave it for 2 minutes, you give it another shake. Then you leave it for another 2 minutes, you take it off, you empty it out, and then you move on. Those bottles back there still have to be done. I have my sanitizer behind me in the sink in a measuring cup, so I just have to add it. And then we'll go downstairs. We'll bring the measuring cup with us so we can sanitize. It doesn't tell you to sanitize the spigot, which I think is a bit of a forgetfulness from them. They forgot to tell you to, because the spigot is exposed to everything. You need to sanitize that spigot because the spigot will touch, it'll probably come close to, if not touching your mouthpiece and all that. You want to sanitize the spigot just in case there's any bacteria on it. So I will go down with the measuring cup when we're done. We'll sanitize the spigot. But again, easiest kit I've ever seen in my life. And we'll see how the beer turns out in another week or 2. Okay, so we have our sanitizer from our first batch of bottles. There's our first batch of bottles. There's our stickers. Our other stuff is in there, our pieces. We're going to go downstairs and we're going to do the nozzles, the spigots. Then we're going to dump this. We'll come up, we'll grab this, we'll grab the other ones because they've sat long enough then. We'll go downstairs. We'll put the labels on the ones that are the one type, and then we won't label the other type. And we'll go from there. Bye. Okay, so here we are. This guy here is the newer style. This would be the blonde. This one is the old style. This would be the IPA that was 4 years past date. So that one is the one I'm most interested in. We have already cleaned our spigots. You can see they have a little bit of moisture on them. And all I really did was I took it and I stuck the spigots in. Went like that, stuck the spigot in. So we're done. Let's go get the bottles. Now, if I'm giving you my ideas on this, I would not do it the way they wanted us to do it. I wouldn't do it the way they said. I wouldn't put the caps on. I would keep the caps off and soak the caps in sanitizer myself. I would use my hand on the top when I shake it, and then at the end I would just dip the top in the sanitizer, because this here ring that nobody thinks about is part of what makes these things airtight. And you've broken the ring on every one of these you put the cap on. You could be like, well, put the cap on loosely. Yeah, shake this with the cap on loosely. It's going everywhere. It is. It just is. Anyway, talk to you soon. So if we read the box here, it says brewing will take about 30 minutes. I think that's a little bit of an over-exaggeration because, well, it took me about 30 minutes and I kept stopping to do little videos of this. It says bottling would take 30 minutes. And again, even with me doing these videos, bottling will not take me 30 minutes. So I think those are a little bit of an exaggeration. Maybe it's the very first time you've ever done anything like this, sure. You're looking at our shitty little dressers. We got the kids good dressers. We got us whatever we could afford. And this is what we could afford when we first moved out, right? We were escaping a horrible place. And we started with nothing. You know those memes, you know, sometimes your piece starts like this and it's like an air mattress and all that. Well, we didn't quite go that far, but we went pretty far down the rabbit hole. This is one step up from how I was living when I was first divorced. But that's about it. The only reason we have some of the stuff we have is it's stuff we brought with us. Like, we usually have a TV in our room. We don't. We couldn't afford it, so we didn't get one. We got our son a TV, a cheap little like 27-inch, so that he could play his video games, and so that we could escape like Pokemon shows and all that every once in a while. Thinking about getting my daughter another one of those cheap like 27-inch TVs for her room, so that we can get away from watching My Little Pony, and then we can just use the living room. My dogs are out there wrestling, if you're wondering what it is, and it's the two boys. The girl doesn't play with them. So yeah, so here's where we're at. I'm getting everything set up. Oh shit, son. Sorry, I knocked my bottle over. Luckily, it didn't hit anything. But yeah, so we're getting things ready, then we're gonna go bottle. Okay, so before I start bottling this, I am gonna do a little bit of a sample from each of them, because it should just smell like beer and taste like flat beer. There is absolutely no sign of any yeast activity right now, so it should be that way, but we'll see. So first we have the IPA. I had put so much hops in this thing, both in the boil and in the fermenter, that it was going to be super hazy, and yeah, it is. Looks okay. It smells like an IPA that has a ton of Nelson Sauvin in it. Oh, that is kind of what I was hoping for. So we'll see if this turns out. Because right now, I don't know if I'm tasting mostly the Nelson Sauvin or what. We'll see if it ferments. Well, we'll see if it carbonates. But yeah, let's check the blonde next. So the blonde is also fairly hazy. This is the one that was not past date. Now see, this one's harder to tell if it's truly ready or not, because I did put some Nelson Sauvin in this as well. I didn't put a huge amount in it, but I put some. So it has a smell that could be telling me it's not ready, or could be telling me it is. Okay, that's ready. That's ready to bottle. And then about 10 days time, we'll tell you how these turned out. All right, talk to you soon. Okay, so what we do, take 2 of the drops, put them in the bottle, take the bottle, hold it on an angle, open the spigot, fill the bottle to about 1 inch from the top, close the spigot, go on to the next bottle. Easy as pie. Blonde IPA. We'll put the stickers on the IPA. Then you want to put them in a dark place while they're bottle conditioning. And it says between 7 and 14 days. I'm probably going to put them in my tool cupboard. So I'll be able to get 9 bottles out of this batch. They sent you 12. They send you 12 bottles, you'll be able to get 9. The math works out right, because basically what's going to happen is this bottom bit is going to be all your trub. Your yeast trub, and if you've added anything, like I've added hops, it'll be my hop trub as well. So you don't want to drink that. However, I'll get about 9 out of it. They sent me 740 milliliter bottles, so it ends up actually making the proper amount of bottles. It just seems like less, so I don't know why they sent me 12. But if you wanted to, since they sent you 12, you could probably have this rolling almost all the time. Like as soon as you're done brewing, clean, sanitize, start again. And you have 3 bottles right away. And by the time this is done, you may have drank 3, 4, 5, 6 of your other bottles, and then you can just fill right off the bat. So it gives you a little bit of extra leeway. Okay, so we're done bottling. All the bottling is done. Got 9 bottles from each. Possibly could have gotten 10 out of the IPA, possibly. But there was so much trub in the bottom of the IPA that the last bottle wouldn't have been a very good bottle. Or it would have been amazing, depending on what you look at. Like I said, it was about 15 minutes to bottle 2 batches. So the fact that they say 30 minutes is kind of weird. But they might be counting the time to clean the vessels. Again, the vessel that had the blonde in it was very easy to clean. The vessel that had the blonde in it, I didn't add a lot to. It was just the blonde for the most part. So that kind of makes sense. It took me like seconds to clean it. Like 45 seconds. The one that had the IPA took me about 4 minutes to clean because there was a lot of trub to get out. And it is what it is. I do see a lot of vacuuming I have to do. There's a lot of dog hair under my TV stand again. I don't understand how. I know that they're shedding, but I groom them every day with this vacuum groomer. And there's so much. It's the 2 big ones, not the puppy. Not the puppy. Hey. Not the puppy. It's this one here and that one there that's causing all the problems. Not this guy. He's too cute. He doesn't cause any problems. Anyway, yeah. So I put the bottles in a dark place that stays between 16 and 21 degrees and just leave it there for up to 2 weeks. And then your beer is ready. So simple system. And in 2 weeks' time, we'll tell you whether or not I personally think it's a worthwhile investment. Especially with the way beer prices are right now. So it might just be. And I'm really intrigued on the one I got on clearance. I'm really intrigued if the IPA turns out. Because again, it was 4 years past date. So the question is it still drinkable? Is it still good? And if so, is it a good viable option for somebody else? Because yeast doesn't cost much. I think it cost me like $6 to buy 4 packets of Fleshman's Nottingham yeast. So, I mean, it's not an expensive venture to add on top of it, especially if you're getting the beer on clearance. Like, I got the entire kit for like $16 because it was past date. So I bought it mostly for all the stuff in it. You having a nightmare there, girl? But yeah, next part of the day is going to be changing doorknobs again. Changing doorknobs throughout the house, doorknobs that are locks and stuff. So we'll just grab my screwdriver over here and we'll go do it. Eh? All right, let's go. Okay, so this one is a privacy lock. So if somebody accidentally locked it, I can always unlock it like you would an old bathroom door. That door over there has a key lock as well as a deadbolt. So we're going to change the deadbolt and the key lock because I got them both on clearance at my work. I'm going to put a regular passage door handle on it and then a new deadbolt. So if we have to lock the door ever, we can. Unfortunately, my son isn't all that trustworthy. When he gets grounded and loses something like, say, his Switch, he comes looking for it. Hello, Judge. And this door, just for ease, I'm just going to change it because, I mean, this handle's old. It's not in great condition. Obviously, somebody didn't know how to properly undo it once, so we're going to just change them just to change them. Anyway, talk to you soon. So I remember the first house I bought and the first doorknob and lock set I changed. When you bought the lock, you could pay somebody to come and install it for you. And it was something like $25 to have them install it. And I went home and I installed it and I'm like, how the fuck does somebody pay somebody to do this? Like, this is the easiest thing it is. It's 4 bolts. It's 4 bolts. Well, screws. It's 4 screws. Now, if anyone's wondering what I'm doing with all this, all the metal that I've changed, I'm collecting in a bucket. Once I fill the bucket, I'll go to the scrapyard with it. Might only make a couple dollars, but it'll get recycled and I'll make a couple dollars. Only thing I can think of, right? Yep.